Broadcasting live from the beautiful Hyatt Regency Savannah for Georgia Economic Developers Association 2022 Conference. It's time for Association Leadership Radio. Brought to you by the Georgia Center for Employee Ownership. Now, here's your host.
Lee Cantor here, broadcasting live from the Georgia Economic Developers Association 2022 Annual Conference here in Savannah. So excited to be doing Association Leadership Radio here. Our first guest today is Albert Hodge with Hodge Consulting Services. Welcome.
Good afternoon. It's great to be here.
Well, Al, tell us a little bit about Hodge Consulting. How are you serving folks?
Well, we help communities with economic development, strategic planning, coaching, some marketing, lobbying, a variety pack of services for communities for their economic and community development. We also work with existing businesses, and we're doing some site selection searches and so forth. We help existing business with strategic planning and advisement, and then we also are helping some startups. And those all three categories are very exciting for us and very fulfilling to help people and create opportunities.
So what's your backstory? How'd you get involved in this line of work?
Well, I was always interested, even as a young boy, in economic and community development, and followed that for many years. And my first job out of school was in Charleston, South Carolina, with the Chamber of Commerce there, and steadily rose to the level of chamber exec for the three-county region, so Charleston and Berkeley, Dorchester counties, and then went to Augusta, was recruited to Augusta and that region, and concluded my Chamber of Commerce professional career after 42 years in Rome, Georgia, and couldn't get it out of my system, and my wife, Cheryl Reiner Hodge, and I started the consulting business. We've been blessed. It's been 3.5 years and really good, solid clients and great opportunities for us and for them.
So now when you're working with a community, what are some of the pains that they're having where they're saying, I better call Al and his team?
Part of it is the interest in doing better. So some communities are doing well already, and they have sought us out because of the track record that we've had, the results and so forth. Others are looking for more growth and diversification of the economy. And of course, all communities are interested in better opportunities for their residents, for their existing business, and the recruitment and startup of new.
So when you're working with a community and say they're doing fine and they just want to do better, what's kind of is there some of the lessons learned maybe over the years that you implement right away? Or there's some low-hanging fruit for these communities that they can kind of get some momentum?
Well, part of it is that the short answer to your question is leadership, and to make
where
certain
it starts?
that, yes, absolutely, and to help them understand what their opportunities are. In other ways, it is that we see individual businesses or potential sector leadership and help identify that, and then help them with strategies and tactics to create their best ideal opportunities.
Mm-hmm. So when they're coming to you, is there some obvious things for you where you're like, you're not doing that, like in 2 seconds? Do you see opportunity that maybe they aren't seeing just because you've been in and around this for so long? I mean, there's so many things that that are kind of just obvious that maybe they don't see.
There are evident patterns and or opportunities that are being missed that we help identify, yes. Mm-hmm. And we're not a traditional consultant, therefore as a plan is being developed, we identify opportunities along the way if they're evident, like you're just describing.
Because
yes.
I would imagine once you start something, there's a domino effect, right? There's kind
Absolutely.
of a compounding effect.
Right, and so therefore we help them create synergy and momentum. And then, yes, it does build on itself.
Now, you mentioned, I guess the goal would be this diverse economy, right, where you're not relying on one industry. How do you help them kind of implement that? Does that require kind of partnerships with maybe the universities? It requires partnerships with the business community, get the government, everybody kind of working together?
Yes, absolutely. All of the above. That is essential to have a clear, cohesive plan, a solid strategy, and then implementation. And it definitely, economic development is a team sport.
Mm-hmm. And is that where some people maybe aren't leveraging enough of that, where they're not all working together?
Yes. So many times it is that. And then there are times when they may be working together and they need to add either entities or individuals on the team. And we help to identify and sometimes connect them.
Now, you mentioned being a member of the Georgia Economic Developers Association and having leadership positions in that. Why was it so important for you to get that involved with this association in particular?
Well, this is the state professional development organization for economic development. And the opportunities to learn and grow and share, give back. And then also, it's such a great connector. If you pay attention, if you participate, then you will certainly, you and your community, very importantly, will reap the rewards.
Now, any advice for new members to get the most out of their membership here? What are some of the kind of things that they should be leaning into, whether it's education, whether it's volunteering? Where should they be spending their time in order to get the most out of their membership?
Attendance and participation, therefore, committees and getting out there and getting cards, providing cards, and whether that's figurative or literal with leadership, link-in, and those kinds of direct connections are very important. And then also, when you hear an idea, make certain that you use your PDA and follow through on that, both on the idea, the person that is saying it, because so many times people are willing and eager, in fact, to help out.
And ask, right?
Yes.
Now, for you in your career, you've been involved in associations of variety of levels and over the years. Any advice for that young person to consider going down that path? Because a lot of young people especially aren't thinking in that direction as a career.
Right, and that's where there's the question of a job, a career, and a calling. Mm-hmm. And Lee, you're exactly right. Younger folks may not be able to discern that at this point, and therefore participation will help guide their own plan, and then to implement that.
Now, for folks that are listening that are maybe they run their own chamber, they run a chamber, they run economic development, they're involved in that aspect, what could they be doing to attract young people to that kind of work?
Definitely work at the high school and collegiate level, and then also participate in GEDA and similar statewide associations, and identify those local folks and then befriend them, and then help guide them and encourage them getting into the business. Most especially, to be specific, working and volunteering either as a regular intern or going to events with colleges will help get that established. We have had the good blessing and the good fortune of working with so many young people, and many of them have participated as their career, and several are here at this conference right now that I've worked with over the years.
Yeah, that's great advice, because I think that a lot of times the leadership, they're not kind of looking at like a high school kid, or they're not, investing the time there, but that's the future, right? Like, you got to grow your future leader somewhere, right?
Absolutely. And many chambers have leadership programs for adults.
Right.
Some have them at the high school level. Mm-hmm. And if they don't have those, I would encourage them to do both, the adult and the high school. Some are now starting middle school level programs.
Really? Wow. So what's the most rewarding part of the work for you? Like, what is the thing that gets you most excited every day?
When folks implement our recommendations, the follow-through, because what really gets me excited over the years is that new opportunity for that person, that young person, or for that resident, or for that business to grow and expand and prosper.
And because the impact that you're making and those organizations are making are real. I mean, there's real tangible impact that's happening every single day because of the work that you've done and your clients are doing.
Right, and the team, of course. And therefore, to be able to see the difference that you're able to make as part of a team is just, it's so very fulfilling.
So if somebody wants to learn more about your consulting, what is the website or the best way to get a hold of you?
Hodge Consulting Services.com, and they could also find us on LinkedIn.
Good stuff. Well, Al, thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you, Lee.
You're doing such important work, and we appreciate you.
Thank you, Business Radio, and also Georgia CEO.
All right, this is Lee Cantor. We'll be back in a few at Association Leadership Radio.